Hi CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're back with another granny square from our Halloween Spooktacular granny square series. So what we're going to do today is, this is like a witch's hat with some braids coming from the back. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's really fun, really easy. And yeah, I do want to ask you to please subscribe below if you haven't already, and so that you can get notified of my future videos. And please like and share. Sharing helps more than anything, guys, and I really appreciate your support, okay? So, into the materials, I do want to tell you first of all, we're using a basic granny square for this. So I'm going to explain how this granny square works. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I have a video below. If you're not familiar with basic granny squares, I have a video below that'll show you how to do it, okay? But just so you know, it just starts out with your basic circle here, where you do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets 4 times, and then you come back into your corners with 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet with double crochets across, and then all in all you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Okay, so that's this basic granny square, and like I said, if you're not familiar with them, just look up that video. Really easy. Also, this is a 6-inch square, just so you know. Okay, I'm using a 4.25 millimeter hook. I use that for the granny square, and I'm also going to use it for the witch's hat. And I used a 4-weight yarn for all of this. I used this black, this burnt orange, this is Lion Brand, this is Mainstays, and then just a Mainstays gray. Okay, so any 4-weight yarn that you want to use, just remember, like I always say in all my videos, if you use a bigger hook or a bigger yarn, you're going to have a bigger project. And if you use a smaller hook or smaller yarn, you're going to have a smaller project. Okay, so we're going to get started on the witch's hat first. And I'm going to pull out my 4.25 millimeter hook, and I'm going to make a slip knot, and I'm going to chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And then in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to put a half double crochet. And I'm going to put a half double crochet in each stitch going all the way down. So by the end, you should have 12 half double crochets. Okay, so then after you do that, you're going to turn your work. You're not going to chain anything, because instead of going into this first stitch right here, you're going to go into the second stitch. So you had 12, and now you want to go down to 10 stitches. So we're going to skip this first one, and then we're going to skip the last one. And it's kind of hard to see, especially when you're using black yarn. So it's really important that you count for this, okay? So going into the second stitch, we're going to put 1 half double crochet, and we're going to do 10 of those. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you're not going to do work into this last stitch, okay? Then you're going to turn your work again without chaining. You're going to skip this first stitch and go into the second, and this time we want 8 stitches across. So we're going to go into the second stitch and put a half double crochet, so that's 1, and into the next 2, and into the next 3, into the next 4, into the next 5, and then 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to skip that last one again. Then you're going to turn your work, and now we want 6. So again, skip this first stitch, go into the next, do 1 half double crochet, And then you're going to do 5 across because you just did 1. So so we'll just count from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, then you're going to turn your work. You're going to go into the second chain or stitch, not the first one, and now you need 4 half double crochets across. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as you can see, you're skipping the first stitch and the last stitch to decrease going up. Okay, again, turn your work, skip the first stitch, go into the next. Now you want 2, so go into the next one, put 1 half double crochet, and then go into the next and put 1 half double crochet. Then you're going to turn your work, and now all you want is 1. So you're going to skip the first and go into the last. So this is one where you're not skipping the last one, you're just doing 1. Okay, and then that's how you make the witch's hat. You're going to cut off, leaving enough room to work in because you're going to need this to sew this on to your granny square. Okay, so then you're going to chain 1 to give it even more of a little tippy top there. And now you've got a wonderful crinkly little witch's hat. Okay, and so what you would do is you would just take and put this right here. And I'm going to go ahead and place this right here at the top. I'm putting it right at the last round for my granny square or row. And I'm going to go ahead and secure it with a stick pin. All of the materials that I'm using in this video will be in the description below as well. Okay, and so now I'm going to show you how I did these lovely little braids. I'm going to take my burnt orange yarn and I'm going to make circles like this going back and forth. So, and I'm just going to do it several times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and as you can see, I'm just folding it over and going back. 9, 10. I want these to be pretty thick. Okay, 11. So I think 11 is good. I think that does good, going back and forth. So then I'm going to cut off. Okay, then I'm going to fold these in half, just like this. So I folded it in half. I've gone back and forth. You can still see the yarns hooked together down here. So I folded it in half, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it right there. Yarn, and I'm going to go right through the middle here, and I'm going to tie this off. Just like this. And this can be worked back into your project. So I'm just going to do it twice, and then I'm going to let it fall down to the side. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to place this right underneath this witch's hat right here. Okay, so right underneath that, you're going to place that right there. Okay, and then you're going to take another stick pin to hold all this into place, just like this. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew my witch's hat on, and then I'm going to show you how to do the braid. I'm going to go right behind here through the black and right to the back, making sure I go through the gray, not in between the double crochets, but where I go through it. And then I'm going to simply come up and work around my witch's hat all the way around. Okay, so I'm just going to do like this, working this in. Now I'm just working across, and when I work across here, this is going to hold this orange yarn down because I'm going through it. but I'm also going to secure it as well. So I'm just going across like this, going through this orange yarn that I have, working into the other side. Okay, just like that. And then you would just keep working back up to the top, and then in the back you would work this into the place where the witch's hat is, where the black is, so you won't see it through the front. Okay, just like that 3 times, and then you can cut off. Okay, and then we're back here to the front, and what I want you to do is go ahead and cut off these ends a little bit, because they're still attached together, the yarn is. So you're just gonna cut that, and then we're gonna cut them again, and then we'll move that out of the way, and then we're just going to braid these pieces. So I'm just going to take 3 parts, and I'm going to braid these. I like to keep them kind of loose so they look nice and thick. And then I'll tie them off with some black yarn. Okay, so I've got that right there. And then make a bow. Really easy stuff here. And then I just like to pull down till I get it exactly the way I want it to look. I'm going to bring this forward. And just like that. And then I might tighten it up again. Okay, and then I'll do the other side. And then what you can do is you can go ahead and cut these off exactly how you want them to hang. If you don't want them hanging over the granny square, like I said, you could make them shorter. And then when I cut these, it's going to also cut the bottom of the bows as well. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them like this, and I'm going to put a little stitch here to hold them into place. But what I want to show you right now is how I kind of tried to make this look like the back of a head. So I'm going to come up through the back of my yarn, the back of my granny square. I'm going to leave a place hanging in the back so I can work it in later. And then I'm just going to work this in going this way. So I'm pulling up my work and using my darning needle to manipulate the yarn where it's going to go back the other way. Okay. So it may take a couple times of me doing this to pull it over. And then I'm just picking it up and pulling that yarn over like that. So that kind of pushes it over that way. Then what I'm going to do is working back going the other way. Now I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go over to the middle in between the braids. Okay. And I'm going to make a line starting at the bottom with my darning needle of the witch's hat. I'm going to go through and make a line just like this. You see? And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it again. And I'm just going to keep going through here, because when we pull our hair to a braid in the back, because what I wanted to do was really make this look like it was coming from the back of the head, and that's kind of hard to do with crochet. It really kind of needs to look 3D. So I'm just going to keep working this to make a place like the back of a head, kind of back and forth, up and down to each side of the braid where I don't see any gray anymore. And then what I like to do is take the same piece, because I've got such a big long piece of yarn here, and I'm going to go through and I'm just going to kind of tack this into place. So I'm going to go through and then kind of go through again. because I don't want it to just go everywhere. Okay, so I'm just kind of going through to hold that into place so it'll stay on both sides like that. Okay, and then you would do the same thing for the other side, just coming through the braid. Just come through the front of the braid to hold it down. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the little bow, and then I'm going to show you how to make the little stars. So really easy for the little bow in the back of the witch's hat. You're just going to take your gray yarn and you're going to work across the end of your first row of half double crochet. Leave a piece in the back hanging so you can work it in, and then you're just going to go across, in and out, just like this. And like if that does that and goes into your work, you can just pull it out. But this is just a line for the back of your hat. Just like that. And then, like I said, you can pull these out so they're more noticeable. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this off, and then you would work it in, leave enough room to work in, and then you would take, if you still have any left over from that, the gray yarn, and you're going to make a little bow. So you're going to bring your darning needle right into the middle for one side, then go back onto the darning needle again, pull this through the other side so you have both facing the front so that you can make a bow. And then you will make a bow, however big you want to make it. And then you would just cut off wherever you want to cut off at. Just like that. Okay, and now I'll show you how to do the little stars, and then we'll be all done. So pull out some white yarn, put some white yarn on your darning needle, and this is a great project for learning how to work with a darning needle. Just follow exactly, if you're not comfortable with it, just follow exactly what I've shown you to do. But the basic thing is just leave enough room in the back to work in your ends. Okay, so to do these cute little stars, again, I'm going to pull in my white yarn, leave a little bit in the back. I'm going to do a little line going up and down, just like this, and then I'll go from the other side and go over. So we're just making a little star, and then go over here and make another little line, just like if you were drawing it. It's basically the same thing. And then I would go right over here, but I would work through the back. And then I would make another star, so make another line, go up, and then do another one. And these are just cute little accents to put on your work, okay? And then there you go. That's how you make this really cute witch's, back of the witch's head granny square, okay? So lots of fun. If you need any help or anything, don't hesitate to ask. Make sure that you remember to work in your ends and the back, so nothing comes undone. Make sure you do the 3 times. Make sure that you tack, like I said, sewing these down so they don't flip-flop back and forth. And yeah, it'll turn out absolutely beautiful. Again, you do have a lot of work that you can see through the back because you're pulling in other colors, and I wasn't as friendly with mine, so you can work those in the back. But that's something to think about depending upon if you're going to put a backing on your work at all, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. You can find me in the YouTube comments section below, but if you're not comfortable with that, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and I'll see you again soon for another spooky video. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.